Things are happening. I don't know what's going on, but sales were not very good, and I want to talk to you about that here on the other side. So, without any further ado, let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy. And yeah, sales. I don't know what's happening, guys. I just returned from California. It seems like every time I go away, go on vacation, and I call it a little vacation, but I still was working the whole time while I was out there on my phone. But it seems like whenever I leave state or leave town, things just don't go well on the sales side. And the last time I went to California, we had zero sales on a Friday, followed by $1,000 day on Saturday. That was back in July. And then this time, it was just like slow sales. I mean, really, sales were that slow where I think I did about half of what I did on a normal weekend. I think we did 7 or 8 sales, and that's no good, guys. I mean, I'm used to doing between 15 and 20 on a weekend, and I count a weekend from Friday through Sunday, okay, because all those packages get shipped out together. We don't ship over the weekend. So that's kind of the base mark or the baseline of what I look at when I'm talking about a weekend sales activity. So I'm comparing this to the weekend before, which wasn't bad. It was a good sales weekend, but that's been sort of typical for the last 8 months anyway, that type of really good sales weekend. And I can tell you it's probably about half of the sales that I would normally do is what we did this last weekend. Now, there's no holiday associated with this weekend. There's nothing special about this weekend. There's nothing going on that I know of that would cause buyers to just not be interested. Now, it's much more than just my store. When I got home last night, I did take some time to go in and look and see how are other resellers doing this weekend as compared to the previous one. And there are some folks that watch this channel that may or may not know that I happen to know what their store is. And I'm looking at those stores and how they perform. And I didn't see any stores that were just killing it. In fact, I was seeing a lot of the same that I saw within my own store. A lot of stores that had some sales, but nowhere near the sales they had the previous weekend. So that makes me wonder out loud, what's going on? Okay, now we've talked about on last Thursday's live, which was a really good discussion between Josh Galt and I. We talk about the eBay problems, right? And I'm sure that eBay has contributed to many of these problems. People are leaving the platform. When you are looking for something and you can't find it, you're not going to spend your entire morning trying to figure out why as a buyer. You're going to move on. There's other places and ways to find your item. And if you don't know, you're just going to do a Google search and that's going to lead you to the place that has it. But I think it's more than that. I think that eBay is part of the problem, but I think if it's widespread like this, where many stores, and I'm not saying all of them, I'm sure that there are some stores that just killed it this last weekend, but the many stores that I've looked at, I spent about an hour just checking it out, tallying how many sales they had the previous weekend as compared to this weekend, and it wasn't good. And if that's happening pretty much across the board, that tells me that there's a problem that a lot of people don't like to talk about, but it's, the elephant in the room. It's the economy. I think the one thing that economists look at when they're trying to figure out the economy is retail. And you and I are part of that retail sector. And when things fall off in retail, then it's certainly going to be one of those things that it's going to have a negative effect on every person out there who is trying to sell. And that has a big indicator of buyers' confidence in the economy. And Rite Aid, they just came out saying that they're closing, I think, all their stores or a good percentage of their stores. And these kind of things generally don't happen in good booming economies, guys. And I'm still looking around. I haven't seen anyone saying this is the best economy they've ever seen in their lifetime. So I think we can all agree that the economy can be better, but I just think there's a lot of people that kind of don't want to talk about how the economy is affecting them as a business on eBay. It's always something else. It's maybe eBay's fault, or things aren't going right on eBay, and eBay does play a role in this. But I think that the economy is why I think we're seeing a downturn and a downtick. And I'd love to see what the Q2 report and or the Q3 report is going to be from eBay. It's probably going to be the same thing, a downturn in sales, lower sales than maybe they had last year, year over year, and of course more fees because eBay is continually bringing that number up on promoted. And hopefully you're standing your ground on that. But I digress. I can sit up here all day and I can tell you about the problems, but we got to have an answer to it. What do you do? How do you get in front of this? Because these things are out of your control. eBay problems / problems with the economy. Well, I could tell you what I did back in February, and at the time, my account was just crap. Bad. October, November was kind of okay. December was bad. January was horrible. I had to figure out what the heck can I do, and not many people were reporting the same kind of problems that I was having. So I figured in my mind, okay, look, I already have 2 stores. Wasn't really using this other one, but I'm going to take all the crap items, and in this case, anything under 20 bucks, move them over, and that's 20 bucks plus shipping, move them over to my crap store, and then just build off of my main store. So what I did was I took out of about 800 to 900 items, I took 500 and some odd, I think almost 600 items, moved them to my secondary store, and then the last 250 to 300 items I kept, and I built off of that. So I kept sourcing, but I was sourcing higher ASP, higher ticket items, and adding them to that store. And I could have gone further. I could have got it down to about 150 to 200 listings, but I was afraid to bring it down too low because I have this thought in the back of my mind. There's zero evidence backing it up that if you go too low, it's going to hurt your store. Just something in the back of my head that said don't go lower than 200. Well, that worked well for me, but I still left some of the lower ASP items in that store, and I really am a big believer that sell-through rate is now king with the new search engine, and that you got to start focusing on keeping higher ASP and higher sell-through rate things. Those are 2 different things, by the way. They're not one and the same. And building up your conversion rate for your store. Okay, should be your main focus. Not how many items you get in your store, but how do I build up the conversion rate in this store? Because I really believe the way eBay is acting right now with the search and their algorithm, that they are rewarding sellers that have that really good conversion rates. And then take the crap out of your main store and put them in a secondary store. No one's saying to get rid of your crap. No one's saying to donate everything. A lot of you aren't able to do that. A lot of you are in a position where you're into these items for too much money than to just throw them away or put them out at a yard sale. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just giving you ideas. This channel, we try to at least tell you what I'm doing. It may not be feasible for you, but there may be many people who are able and willing to give that a try. And, what do you have to lose? You're not making sales anyway. I mean, if you are, you're not making it to the tune where you're happy with your sales. Otherwise, you wouldn't be this far in the video. Anyone who is killing it shouldn't be wasting their time watching videos about how bad sales are for other people. So I'm going to have a plan. That should always be your focus, is to figure out how are you going to take this situation and improve it. And in this channel, we try to offer ideas. If you're stuck in 2020, when everyone had that COVID money, and if you're stuck in that mentality where you're just going to list it and it's just going to go like hotcakes, well, it ain't 2020 anymore, guys. And I think there's a misconception, that eBay is the one that either determines you're going to get a sale or you're not. And that's just not how it works. eBay provides your item traffic. So it places your item in front of other potential buyers based on a lot of factors, okay? If you do those things well, better than your competition, your item's going to be displayed more than your competition if you're better than them. If they're better than you, you're going to be listed or displayed in front of a buyer less than your competition. So that's what that is. Now your item gets placed on the screen, buyer scrolls past it, that's an impression, and if they happen to click on it, which is the goal here, that becomes a page view. Now, aside from eBay placing other buyers or sellers listings in your ad there, aside from that, it's your job as a seller to try to convert that page view into a sale. eBay has no control over that, guys. That's your job. eBay's done their job if the buyers clicked into your listing. So that's a big misconception out there. So the question is, how do you get the impression? How do you get your items so that eBay displays it for buyers to see it? You can do that through good account health, good quality listings, and good promoted rates. And we talk about that. There's a lot of you that still won't promote. Once you do that, and once you make eBay's algorithm happy by getting rid of the smaller, lower conversion rate items and the lower ASP crap, like I'm doing, the idea is you are now telling eBay that your store has a higher conversion rate, and or it's where they want to place their focus because you're getting more sales than someone who doesn't care about that, if that makes sense. So again, that's the idea behind it. Does it work? It's worked for me for 8 months. Will it work for you? I have no idea. But see, a lot of channels, they'll come out in front of you and they'll tell you this, that, and the other thing. But nobody, and I'm saying nobody on YouTube, has the algorithm figured out 100%. Okay? Because there's no blueprint for it. There's no user guide for eBay. There's a lot of proprietary stuff that eBay will not tell us or share with us. We have to figure it out. And when we're trying to figure it out, sometimes we get it wrong. Sometimes we hit it on the nose. But I'm going to every time at least share with you my thoughts and what I'm trying in my own store. And if you decide to do that too, then that's certainly something you should consider. But figuring all this out, figuring out if I should open a second store and move all my crap over there and just focus on higher ASP things or higher sell-through rate things, well, that is yet another example of how flipping ain't easy. And check out one of these videos YouTube wants you to check out, they think you're going to like. And in the meantime, check out my live at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern today, Monday, and hopefully we'll see you there. And until then, have a great rest of your day.